guys, it's Kika, your lifestyle blogger, and I have been very busy trying to understand this AI technology. I am blown away by what we have to offer nowadays, and the robots and the systems and all of that. I have been just diving in headfirst, doing a lot of research so that I better understand it, so that I can bring this information to you. So, I want to talk to you today about what I've realized and understand with it so far. And this is going to be pretty interesting. We're going to talk about the good and the bad with AI technology. Keep watching. More video footage coming up. Hey guys, welcome back. So we're here to talk about the good and the bad with AI technology, and just having it in my house for the last couple of months. Just want to tell you what I have come to understand about it so far. And I think this will be helpful for those of you that are looking to expand and bring it into your home and just don't know what to do with that space. There's a lot of myths out there, a lot of information out there. And so if you don't have one or you've never experienced one, you really don't know. So I just want to bring this information to you front and center so that you can understand what you're getting. All right, so I'm starting with the good and the bad. So let's talk a little bit about the good, and then we'll go into the bad. And I'll just tell you right off the bat, my bad list is much longer than my good list. So you can take that whatever way you want to take it, but we'll get into this very shortly. So let's talk about the good. So the first thing at the top of my list on the good is it's a very informative tool. And what I mean by that is if I'm starting my day, for me, I do sales. So I have to drive far to different places to have meetings and things like that. So if I'm starting my day, I want to know what traffic is like on certain roads, or if I need to maybe bypass those roads and take a back way or whatever. And so I ask her, and I'm going to use her instead of saying her name here because she'll respond because I have her all over. But anyway, so I do ask her what the traffic is like, and she is able to tell me what traffic's like, if it's clear, if I should go another way or whatever. And so I like that because that immediately prepares me for where I need to go, especially if I have a meeting. I want to make sure I'm getting to that meeting on time, and she's very informative and she helps me do that. The other thing, weather. That's huge. So, example, I had to go on a business trip this past week, and I did ask her earlier in the day what the weather's like, and she did tell me it was going to be snow. But during that day, it was so nice outside, I couldn't even see how that would even be possible. So I chose to just lag around a little bit and leave a little later in the day. And what ended up happening is about, I want to say 45 minutes before I got to my actual destination, it started snowing like crazy. And by the way, I was leaving Minnesota and traveling to North Dakota. But it started snowing, and it was more snow flurries because, first of all, it got dark outside, and my eyesight is terrible at night. And then with the snow flurries, all you see is these white snowflakes coming at your face. It makes you dizzy. And so I had to take a back road. I was in some cornfield somewhere. It was awful. I could have really avoided that stressful situation and experience if I would have listened to her and left a lot earlier, because she told me it was coming and she told me around the time it was coming, but I couldn't see it because the weather was so nice during the day here in Minnesota, and I left at a later time. So my bad, but I'm telling you, she's very informative, and so she could probably save people's lives in many situations because you can avoid those situations if you have her. So that's first and foremost on my list. And I'm being totally honest with you on this. If anything, it's worth getting her for that reason. All right. The second one is she follows the routines that you input. So when you get this and you download the app to your phone, you go into your phone and you set up these certain routines. And what I mean by routines is, for example, if you know you get up every morning at 6:30 and you go take a shower, you can have her recognize when the shower's running to play your favorite song. That's nice, relaxing, whatever. I like it. You can have her read a Bible verse to you. That's wonderful. She can read the Bible verse of the day. She does that. She can tell you the weather. You can have her do a series of routines like start your favorite song, tell you the weather, tell you the traffic, read the Bible verse, and start your coffee pot. And you have to have a smart plug for that. So a packet of smart plugs, like 4 of them, is like $18. Very inexpensive. I still have one plug that I'm looking to figure out where I want to use it because I have them for my bedside lamps and things like that in my coffee pot. So I do have one plug left, but they do come in handy, and she can control those plugs and be able to do those routines for you. So she's really good at doing the routines that you input. But be careful because sometimes it can be annoying because my boyfriend has a lot of coughing lately. So I put in the routine for if he coughs for her to say drink some water or take cough medicine. Well, now it's really annoying because every single time he coughs, she says that same line and same routine over and over. So I'm going to have to change that one up. You can also delay it, so maybe she can hear the coughing for 5 minutes straight and then she says it. So I think I'm going to go for the delay part first just to make sure it's less annoying. But you can do it as soon as she hears it, the sound detected, she'll get on her routine. You can do that as well. So play with it a little bit, but it's really fun to be able to do that, especially if you have kids in your house and you need to get them ready for school and you're in a meeting and you're busy and you're running around. This is nice to have because she'll wake them up, she'll get them on time. You're inputting that information, so it's not her doing it. It's you doing it, but you're controlling what she says and does at what time. And thumbs up to that, because that's a wonderful feature to have. But she's on that same routine thing is on the bad side too, and I'll tell you why. All right. Games and jokes. Sometimes I like her to tell me a joke. I love zombie apocalypse movies and all that, so she has some great zombie jokes that she tells me. So I love those, and I use them because my dad is into jokes. So I get some of the jokes from her, and then I can tell my family to tell dad this joke. It's so funny. But games are fun. I've been playing Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And that's interesting. So you play against this mysterious component, whoever it is that she makes up. And then you're playing this game and she asks you these questions. And I'm going to tell you, these questions are hard. I don't remember learning any of that kind of stuff in 5th grade. So she must be talking about 5th graders in this time. Because 5th graders in this time is way different from 5th graders in my time when I was growing up back in the 70s. Okay. So anyway, but it's fun. And again, I said she's a very informative tool. So basically, that is what really is an informative tool, something that's going to give you information to help you go about your day a lot easier. That's basically what that system is. Also provides helpful reminders, so you can put reminders in there, like if you have a meeting during the day, or birthdays, grandkids' birthdays, or just things that you need to remember that you would normally jot down on a piece of paper, and then you lose the paper and can't find that. It's better just to tell her. Sometimes I forget to set my alarm clock or whatever, so I'll just shout it out and ask her, hey, wake me up tomorrow at 6:30. And she says, got it, wake you up tomorrow at 6:30, and she does. And then if I'm in the shower, that's when I think of stuff for my grocery list. Weird, I know. But then I can just shout it out to her, hey, add this to my grocery list. And then she'll say, I'm adding it to your grocery list. So it's really, really helpful, and I really like that. To be able to have that. So she's basically a virtual assistant that's very informative, and that can give you reminders when you need them. I also like the music and the soft lights. I like her controlling the lights. It's been a little tricky with her controlling my lights that have different colors, and I'll tell you that because that's on the bad side too, but it's really nice to have the music. So if the next thing is if you're entertaining or you're having people over, it's a great tool to really show off, I'm telling you. You can have her turn on and off lights. You can have her play people's favorite songs, just everything. It's really, really nice. I really like it because she can set the mood in your house and kind of let you know what's going on. Now, you can take this a little step further and advance the routines a little more, or you can add the Ring doorbell, and she can tell you if someone's at the door, if a package has been left, what's going on. Actually, I order from Amazon a lot, and because it's an Amazon Echo that she's functioning through, she automatically lets me know when a package is delivered. So I have a couple packages coming, and it'll be like a little charm that'll come off a reminder charm, and then you'll ask her what's my or a notification charm, I should say, and you'll ask her what's my notifications, and she'll let you know that a package just arrived in the mailbox, at the front door, or whatever. Because when they drop it off, they input that information of where they left it, and then it feeds into her, so she's able to tell you exactly where to go and look and what came. Now, my Echo Show that's in the kitchen, not only does it function as a talking tool, but it'll also show you what came. So it'll show you pictures, it'll go to YouTube for you, it'll find recipes and that stuff. So I keep that in the kitchen because it's very helpful if I need someone to find recipes. Sometimes I like to watch YouTube and listen to certain things, or watch the news while I'm cooking. And the Echo Show does that because I don't have regular TV, and I just don't let the news run my household. I go on certain things that I want to see when I want to see it, and then she's able to do that on demand for me. So that is the good side to having in your household. Now we're going to talk about the bad. So keep watching. More video footage coming up. All right, guys, this is what a routine looks like in your phone. So this part is my dog calming routine that I inputted. And this kind of tells me when the dogs were barking. This is when she detected them barking and when she had to run this particular routine. Now this one is the coffee routine that I told you about and what that looks like. And this one is my coffee pot routine and what that looks like. And last but definitely not least, the light routine and when she turns on and off my lights. All right, I'm back. So let's talk about the bad of having an. All right. So first and foremost, I just want to say, if you are the type of person that's kind of lazy, I don't want to use those words lazy. I don't like using negative words, but it is what it is. But anyway, if you're kind of lazy and you know that you should be getting up and doing certain things, but you just don't because you're tired or you don't want to or you don't feel like it, this device may make you lazier. So beware, lazy people. This device could make you a little bit lazier because it can do a lot of things for you. So that's what I want you to know first and foremost. Especially if you hook it up to things like lights and things like that, you know you should probably be getting up, turning off that light because it's better for your health. It would be my recommendation to not hook up to your lights and let her control those things. You should probably control those things. So beware of that. You don't have to hook her up to absolutely everything. She doesn't have to control absolutely everything in your household. It is totally at your discretion. So use her wisely. But let's go through my list because I did mention that it's longer than my good list. So the first thing is she doesn't always understand what you're asking. If you're asking complex questions, okay, let me put it this way. If you're asking a question that you really don't know the answer to, 9 times out of 10, she's not going to know either. If you're asking a question that you sort of know the answer to, but you're just not sure, it's good to use her for confirmation because she'll come back and say, I'm sorry, I don't know that answer. I'm sorry, I don't know that answer. So you have to be somewhat smart to utilize this device because it is a computer, okay? It just is what it is. It's not that smart. I know people are saying, oh, they're going to take over the world. And maybe they have advanced, but the tools and stuff that we're using right now is not that advanced. They have not introduced that to the public eye, to us. So we are not able to function in that space. So I don't even know what that looks like, and I can't even bring that information to you, and I can't even tell you that what I have is that because from what I'm seeing, it is absolutely not what you think it is, okay? So you got to somewhat be smart yourself in order to use this device because you have to input that information. You have to know what you want it to do and when you want it to do it and how you want it to do it. And if you don't have that basic understanding, you're not going to be able to even use the device to its fullest, and it just doesn't make sense to even get one. But if you have that basic understanding and you know that what you need to do and you wish that you had something to tell you this or to do this or remind you of this and that, because it'll make things just a lot easier for you, then my recommendation is to go ahead and get it, because it is going to make things a lot easier for you, if you know what I'm saying. I know I kind of went all around and about, but I just wanted to make sure that I'm explaining this correctly so that you understand. Okay, so she doesn't always understand what you're asking. So that's what I mean by that. She can't hear over multiple noises. So for example, I have a flat screen on the wall, and then I have a plug on the wall, and I have one of the devices there, my Echo device there. Well, if I have that device, because you can control which device is going to do what task. So I have that device taking care of the dogs when they bark, playing music, telling them to stop barking, and then playing dog calming music after. Well, the problem is she does the routine, okay, but she even does it if she hears the TV, and the TV may have a dog on it that's barking, then she'll do it again. Yesterday, I had so many doggone notifications, and I'm going to show you, of her telling me the dogs is barking. It was insane. It was like back to back to back to back to back, because I also have her send me a text when the dogs are barking. So she can't differentiate the TV from the regular dog. That's one. So that's how you know it's a computer. And the second thing is, when you tell it off, if the computer's playing, she can't hear you to tell it off. And so she'll pause, and she's kind of unsure if she should shut all the way off or keep going. And sometimes she'll just keep going, and then it really makes me mad. Then my boyfriend says I'm in there arguing with the doggone computer, and it's hilarious. But anyway, so just know that she can't always hear over certain noises. So you have to place your Echo device in the right location so that she can hear you and that it'll function properly. So that's first and foremost. But I should have known that, but I've only have so many plugs in this house in so many areas because it's a small house. So it is what it is. All right. The second thing is, she doesn't understand complex information, only what is inputted or what's on the web. So you can't ask her, going back to my first thing that I said, and the other one is, you can't ask her questions to things that you really don't know the answer to. You have to have somewhat of an idea that that's what you want to ask her, because she's not going to understand either. Okay? Next, she doesn't always follow commands, especially if you set up a routine for her to follow. So I just explained that. You set up a routine, she doesn't always follow those commands, because she's going to act on what she thinks she hears and not what she actually hears. And she doesn't know if it's actually coming from you or the TV. I have her now on a mode where anyone can come over and ask her to play music or whatever, and she'll do that. I can take that command off so that she only recognizes the voice that I inputted her in, but my son didn't want his voice really set up to her, and I was going out of town, and I know that she does these routines, and I want him to be able to tell her to shut off. So that's why I set it up that way. So maybe it's just a matter of me going back in and changing that feature, but I'm just letting you know that this is what's happening. All right. And doesn't always follow routines perfectly. So for me, it's best to recheck. Now, I have a porch light outside, so I'll tell her to turn off the porch light. Sometimes she does, sometimes she don't. Sometimes she heard me, sometimes she didn't. So because of that, it's good to just go behind her and just check and make sure she did it. For the most part, 99%, she does do it. And I do have the app on my phone, so I can open up the app if I'm leaving and I left the house and I'm not connected to my home Wi-Fi, and I'm like, oh boy, I forgot to shut off those lights or that coffee pot. I can open up the app when I'm down the road or even at work in another town, and then I can say shut it off, and then she'll do it. So that's a good feature to have. So I really like that part. And the other thing that I don't like, though, is it is a marketing tool. So she'll try to get you to buy things. So if you want to hear a certain song, or if you want her to play an audio book, sometimes I like her to read to me at night, because I was one of those children that my mom would read bedtime stories to me. I know. But anyway, so I'll have her tell me a story, and she has the best short stories. So awesome. It's like 15-minute short stories. Like if you're ready to go to sleep, but you need that just extra oomph, to have her tell you a short story, and they are so good. So anyway, I do have her do that, but sometimes she'll say, do you want me to start your subscription to Audible? You want me to start your subscription to a game? Or don't say yes, say no every time, and she'll still complete the task, but with the free ones, and that's better. So that's another reason why you want to make sure you program her to the people that's in your home, because you don't know, you don't want someone starting, you don't want her starting your subscription to these different things, because she will do that, and then you'll have a crazy bill a month later and be like, oh my gosh, what happened? So be careful for that, because it is a marketing tool right now. I think they're still working on perfecting this, and there's a lot of things that they can do to perfect this a little bit more. But I do think it's at the point where it is very helpful in your home if you have it, and if you know how to program it and set things up, it would be very, very helpful. And so that is my review of the Amazon Alexa. So I hope you enjoyed my review today. If you have any more information that I may have missed, go ahead and put your comments in the box below. Let's get some conversations going about this. I'd love to hear from you as well.